In Osun State right now, the man who may become governor for a second term won his first election by a coalition of convenience. And this time, the party that used to be his biggest rival didn't even show up on the ballot. While everyone's watching the vote count, almost nobody is asking why the PDP walked away from a governorship it once held. What does it mean when a major party simply stops competing? By the end of this video, you'll understand why that empty ballot line might matter more than who's currently leading. Before we go further, if you're new here, this channel exists for one reason: to give you the political analysis the mainstream coverage won't slow down enough to explain. Hit subscribe and stay with me. This gets deeper. Osun voters went to the polls Saturday, August 15, 2026 to elect a governor. Adeleke, who first won the seat in 2022 after defeating then-incumbent Gugboya Otola, sought a second term under the Accord Party banner, having previously run under the PDP. INEC organized the vote. 15 candidates in total qualified, with Oyebamiji, APC, and Salam, ADC, positioned as the real contest. Collation is ongoing, and provisional results show a margin under 15 points, close enough that both the final declaration and any post-election legal challenge are live possibilities. Osun has flipped between the PDP and APC over the past decade, with Adeleke's 2022 Accord PDP-aligned win breaking that pattern. This is the first real test of whether that realignment holds. Note that Adeleke's original path to power ran through the PDP, the same party now sitting this election out. INEC conducts the election, manages the IREV results viewing portal, and the returning officer declares the winner in Osogbo. The judiciary, specifically election tribunals, which have decided Osun governorship disputes before and could again if margins stay tight. The Osun State House of Assembly, whose composition, contested in parallel races, shapes how much room a re-elected or newly elected governor has to govern. Nigeria's Electoral Act governs collation, result transmission via IREV, and the returning officer declares a winner. A candidate typically needs a majority plus a geographic spread requirement across LGAs to avoid a runoff scenario. INEC's authority is administrative, not final. A declared result can still be challenged in tribunal within a statutory window. This is the ambiguity worth sitting with. A winner announced this week is not necessarily the office holder in 6 months. Isolated reports of disrupted polling units and vote-buying allegations create exactly the kind of irregularity that becomes tribunal evidence, regardless of the eventual margin. The Accord Party gains its clearest statewide validation yet. It signals the third force strategy governing outside the APC-PDP duopoly can work at scale. The APC reclaims a state it held from 2018 to 2022, reinforcing its southwest strategy ahead of future national contests. The PDP's absence from the ballot is the strategic story here, a major national party effectively conceding a state it once controlled raises questions about its southwest organizational strength. A narrow, contested result invites tribunal involvement, which extends the political uncertainty in the state for months. Osun sits inside a southwest political landscape where APC dominance has been the norm nationally. An Accord or ADC adjacent win complicates that picture. Silent stakeholders, local government chairs, state assembly candidates, and civil servants whose appointments hinge on which administration continues, the people who don't trend on social media but determine whether policy continuity happens at all. PDP's absence isn't abstention, it's strategic recalculation. A contested Osun result tests how much room states have to resist national party machinery, relevant nationally as more states experiment with third-party or defector governors. Prolonged post-election uncertainty affects state-level budget execution, contractor payments, and investment decisions that were paused pending the outcome. How APC and Accord handle a close result, concession, contestation, or tribunal fight set a tone other states will watch ahead of future cycles. The isolated disruptions reported during voting, destroyed materials, alleged thuggery, feed into a broader national conversation about electoral security ahead of future polls. This isn't really a two-man race on the numbers, it's a test of whether a non-APC, non-PDP governing model is durable in Nigeria's southwest. International and domestic observers' missions, including Yaga Africa, monitored the election and flagged pre-election violence risks, the kind of assessment that shapes how credible outside observers rate Nigeria's sub-national democratic process. Nigeria's off-cycle state elections are watched as indicators of INEC's technology-driven transparency reforms, IREV and BVAS. Osun becomes another data point in that track record, for better or worse. Nigerians abroad, including in the US, UK, and Gulf states, don't get a ballot in state elections, but Osun's outcome affects remittance-dependent local economies and shapes diaspora political engagement ahead of 2027 national contests. This fits a broader story of subnational elections functioning as stress tests for democratic institutions in federal systems, comparable to state-level races elsewhere that end up as bellwethers for national coalitions. The higher vote count means the race is settled. Provisional coalition numbers are not final. Tribunal challenges have overturned Nigerian gubernatorial results before. PDP's absence means it's politically dead in Osun. More precisely, it reflects an internal strategic choice this cycle, not necessarily permanent irrelevance. Both leading campaigns have legitimate claims to organizational strength in this race. What matters for Nigeria's democratic institutions specifically is whether the collation and any resulting tribunal process are seen as credible. That, not who wins, is the metric with lasting implications. PDP's absence signals a fracturing southwest opposition landscape, which matters more for 2027 positioning than this single governorship. Possible next moves: formal declaration by INEC's returning officer, a concession, or, if margins stay tight, a tribunal petition within the statutory window. What to watch for: the final LGA by LGA spread requirement, any legal filings within the post-declaration window, and how APC recalibrates its southwest strategy regardless of outcome. Signals of escalation: multiple simultaneous tribunal petitions, contested assembly seats compounding the governorship dispute, or renewed security incidents during the coalition's final stages. Long-term impact: whichever way this resolves, it will shape how the Accord Party's third force model is judged going into 2027 and how seriously PDP's southwest strategy is taken afterward. Why did a major party sit this one out, and what does that tell us about the real contest happening beneath the numbers? The vote count matters, but the credibility of the process that confirms it matters more for Nigeria's democratic trajectory. Viewers are invited to weigh in once final results are confirmed. If this analysis gave you clarity, share it with one person who needs to understand what's really happening. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.